How did a sleepwalking soldier solve a base-wide mystery? It started when Private First Class Danny Walsh began wandering around Fort Bragg every night at exactly 2 a.m., completely unconscious but walking around like he was on patrol. The kid had the weirdest sleep disorder I'd ever seen. Every single night, he'd get up from his bunk, put on his boots, and start walking around the base with his eyes wide open but totally asleep. First week it happened, we found him standing guard at an empty checkpoint just staring into the darkness. Medical cleared him for duty after running tests. Said it was stress-related sleepwalking that would probably stop once he adjusted to military life. They were completely wrong. It got worse instead of better. Danny would rise from his bed around 2 a.m. and walk to different places every night. Sometimes the mess hall, sometimes the motor pool, always somewhere different. We started taking shifts watching him because we were genuinely worried he might walk off a building or into traffic. Meanwhile, our company had a serious problem. Equipment kept disappearing from all over the base. First it was small stuff like tools and batteries, then bigger items started vanishing. Night vision goggles, radio equipment, even a laptop from the company office disappeared. Command went absolutely crazy. Surprise inspections every few days, locker searches, threats about restricting everyone to base until the thief got caught. Weekend passes got canceled indefinitely. The investigation dragged on for 6 weeks with no results. Military police interviewed everyone twice, ran polygraph tests on half the company, still nothing. Whoever was stealing this stuff knew exactly what they were doing and when to do it. The thefts always happened between midnight and 4 a.m. when most people were asleep. One night I was on Danny watch duty following him at a safe distance to make sure he didn't hurt himself. Instead of his usual aimless wandering, he walked straight to the supply shed behind the motor pool with purpose, like he knew exactly where he was going. I figured he'd just stand there like usual, maybe stare at the building for a while. Instead, he walked directly to a loose fence board and pushed it aside. That's when I saw Staff Sergeant Williams loading a pickup truck with stolen equipment. Cases of MREs, ammunition, communications gear, everything that had gone missing over the past 2 months. Williams was selling military supplies to some civilian contractor. Classic black market operation. Both of them were too busy counting money to notice us approaching. Danny walked right up to them, still completely asleep, and just stood there watching Williams load boxes into the truck. The civilian contractor freaked out immediately, thought it was some kind of setup or sting operation. Who is that guy? Is he recording this? Williams spun around and saw Danny standing 10 feet away with those blank sleepwalker eyes, just staring at them without any expression. Williams tried shaking Danny's shoulder to wake him up, but sleepwalkers don't wake up easily. That's when I called for the military police on my radio. Williams and his buyer tried to run, but Danny was blocking their only exit route from behind the building. The kid wouldn't move no matter how hard they pushed or yelled at him. Military police arrived within 5 minutes and found Williams red-handed with a truck full of stolen equipment and $8,000 in cash. The civilian rolled over immediately, confessed to buying supplies from Williams for months, then reselling everything to local contractors. Investigation revealed Williams had stolen over $150,000 worth of equipment during his black market operation. He'd been doing it for 8 months, always during late night hours when Danny happened to be sleepwalking around the base. Danny never knew what happened. Woke up the next morning in his own bunk with no memory of the previous night. We told him he'd caught a thief, but he didn't believe us until they showed him the security camera footage. The sleepwalking stopped completely after that incident. Medical said solving the mystery must have relieved whatever subconscious stress was causing him to wander around at night. Danny finished basic training without another sleepwalking episode. Williams got 12 years in military prison for theft of government property and conspiracy, lost his pension, got a dishonorable discharge, and his wife divorced him before the trial ended. Last month, Danny sent me a photo from his new assignment in Germany. He's wearing sergeant stripes now and standing next to a military police vehicle. Apparently that night inspired his career choice in law enforcement. His unit commander wrote that he's got the sharpest instincts for catching criminals they've ever seen, even while wide awake.